Deng Zifeng was under immense pressure at this moment because the performances during the past few hours had been a continuous climax. Everyone's performance had been perfect, and now Lin Feng had given her the final closing act, entrusting her to bring the show to an end. The most important aspects of a perfect performance are the beginning and the end. Wang Xinyu's opening was perfect, and now all the pressure was on her. For a newcomer, this was truly like Mount Tai pressing down. Deng Zifeng couldn't help but look at Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't speak, he just smiled slightly at her and gave her 2 thumbs up. Deng Zifeng returned a smile to Lin Feng, then took a deep breath to calm her emotions. The music began. The composition and lyrics were still by Lin Feng, but unlike Lin Feng's previous compositions, where most of his works had intros of about 20 or 30 seconds, this song Bubble had an intro of only a few seconds, and it featured only one instrument, the piano. The most remarkable thing was that the accompaniment was just a single note. This severely tested the singer's skill. Bubbles in the sun, they are colorful. Just like the deceived me, I am happy. Why quibble over right or wrong? Your lies are based on you still loving me. Beautiful, Chen Zixuan said to Lin Feng with a smile after listening. This little girl's voice is very steady. This is just the beginning. If she only had this much talent, why would I let her be the closing act? Lin Feng said with a smile. Beautiful bubbles, though a fleeting spark. All your promises, though all too fragile. But love is like a bubble, if one can see through it, what is there to be sad about? The first verse was sung, Deng Zifeng's voice was very steady, and her singing was full of emotion. It was a perfect performance. Beautiful. The audience in the live stream also commented at this time. However, this song is too monotonous. It can only be described as decent. Another viewer commented. Should have known bubbles burst at a touch. Just like an injured heart, unable to endure torment. Nor is it anyone's fault, no matter how many lies, they are based on you still loving me. Just as Deng Zifeng sang the second verse, all the other instruments joined in, and the piano sound was no longer just that one note. And Deng Zifeng's voice also slowly began to rise. Beautiful bubbles, though a fleeting spark. All your promises, though all too fragile. Love is inherently a bubble, if one can see through it, what is there to be sad about? If Deng Zifeng's voice before was like a gentle breeze blowing through a valley, then now, the wind speed began to quicken, and everyone's emotions slowly began to be stirred. The most beautiful flowers, once bloomed, will wither. The brightest stars, once they flash, will fall. Love is inherently a bubble, if one can see through it, what is there to be sad about? Why be sad? What is there to be sad about? Why be sad? Finally, when singing this line, Deng Zifeng's voice erupted once again. At this moment, Deng Zifeng's singing was like a roar in a storm, like crashing waves, one after another, directly hitting everyone's spiritual core. All are bubbles, just a fleeting spark. All your promises, all too fragile. And your silhouette, I blame myself for not seeing through it, that's why I'm so sad. The grasp of love, how can it be searched for again? Embracing loneliness, is it not still lonely? Love is inherently a bubble, I blame myself for not seeing through it, that's why I'm so sad. At this moment, all the audience members exclaimed in surprise. Deng Zifeng's voice was too emotional, too penetrating. And at this moment, Deng Zifeng began to erupt, her sound waves hitting everyone's brains, one after another. Everyone started to gape in astonishment, looking at Deng Zifeng's frail body. They truly couldn't imagine. How could such a small body contain such powerful energy? My goodness, she's really too strong. Deng Xiaoyu stood up in surprise at this moment, looking at Deng Zifeng. To be honest, I haven't seen such strong vocal ability in many years, Chen Zixuan also said in surprise at this moment. Good. At this moment, the enthusiasm of the 300 audience members was completely ignited, and they all stood up, applauding and cheering wildly. Zifeng, you're amazing! Below, Wang Xinyu put her hands to her mouth and screamed loudly. This scene was just captured by the live broadcast camera. So cute, how can she be so cute? As a result, it caused another group of people in the live stream to scream. But more people were captivated by Deng Zifeng's soaring high notes. After listening to this segment, some people even felt their backs were wet. Oh my god, I haven't heard such a thoroughly enjoyable performance in a long time. Is this Deng Zifeng really that strong? My goodness, such a strong singer was actually buried before, and look at the singers on stage now. Luckily, Deng Zifeng met Lin Feng da da. That's right, although people often say that gold will always shine, sometimes gold is hidden too deep and needs someone to unearth it. Deng Zifeng, this piece of gold, was unearthed by Lin Feng da da. This song is exhilarating to listen to. I'm sweating buckets right now. Believe me, a heavenly queen is about to be born tonight. After Deng Zifeng finished singing, she slowly opened her eyes. She had been closing her eyes due to extreme nervousness. The moment she opened her eyes, she saw Lin Feng once again, smiling and giving her 2 thumbs up. Not only Lin Feng, but also Zhang Xiaoyu, Chen Zixuan, these seniors she respected. And her friends, Wang Xinyu, Luo Zhixiang, Kai Yilin, and all 4 members of Kai Kai Ba Ba, all gave her a thumbs up. Bubbles in the rain, they burst at a touch. The once ardent heart has long since sunk. Why say you love me if you're lying? I'd rather you be silent. Finally, after the storm ended, everything returned to calm, and Deng Zifeng's voice once again became gentle. Beautiful. When the song ended, all 300 people in the audience stood up and applauded. Zifeng, you're amazing, Chen Zixuan said loudly. The style of Bubble was incredibly poignant, and Deng Zifeng performed this song with a gradually escalating emotional delivery. Initially, she conveyed the fragility of love and promises in a steady, low murmur, then gradually erupted as the emotions intensified. Finally, after the emotions were fully expressed, everything returned to calm. Deng Zifeng's performance was truly outstanding. No one else can perfectly master this song except her, Lin Feng said to Zhang Xiaoyu and Chen Zixuan with a smile. Looking at the screen full of bullet comments all praising her, Deng Zifeng's tears were about to fall. For years, she had been rejected by countless entertainment companies because her singing accent wasn't very clear. It was only with great difficulty that Qin, the CEO of Kumao music platform, signed her, allowing her to do some cover songs on the Cool Cat platform. But for all these years, there had been no improvement, until CEO Qin introduced her to Lin Feng and Ye Xiaoyu. After hearing her voice, Lin Feng immediately had Ye Xiaoyu sign her and even wrote songs for her. Most importantly, on this day, under the attention of over 100 million viewers in the live stream, Lin Feng gave her the closing act. However, looking at the screen full of cheers and the enthusiastic applause from the 300 audience members, Deng Zifeng knew that she had not disappointed Lin Feng. Xiao Fan, a new heavenly queen of the Huaxia music scene has been born, Lin Feng whispered to Ye Xiaoyu beside him, applauding. I have that feeling too, and I believe it's not just Zifeng. Wang Xinyu and the others will also officially step into the limelight after this performance, Ye Xiaoyu said with a smile. However, there's still one person whose singing is known, but her appearance is not. You mean? Lin Feng asked, a little puzzled. Nonsense, brother-in-law, you promised me you'd let me meet my Xiao, and I knew, Ye Xiaoyu said loudly. Lin Feng was speechless as he glanced at Ye Xiaoyu, whose eyes looked murderous at the moment. Ye Xiaoyu immediately slapped Ye Xiaoyu on the head. Sis, why are you hitting me again? Ye Xiaoyu asked, wincing in pain. You're just calling her Xiao and I knew? Where's the basic courtesy? Ye Xiaoyu said coldly. Isn't it because Xiao and I knew isn't here? Ye Xiaoyu mumbled, rubbing his head. Say that again and I'll kill you. Ye Xiaoyu immediately flared up. Don't you dare force me to hit you in such a happy setting, kid. Regardless of Lin Feng and the others offstage, on the stage at this moment, Deng Zifeng's second song had already begun. Love comes too fast like a tornado, I can't bear it, I have nowhere to hide. I can't think anymore, I can't think anymore, I can't tilde. Love leaves too fast like a tornado, I can't escape the eye of the storm, no time to flee. I don't want to think anymore, I don't want to think anymore, I don't want to think about you anymore, tilde. Immediately after, Deng Zifeng sang another song, Tornado. The lively melody combined with Deng Zifeng's unique vocal style captivated everyone present, including the audience in the live stream. Especially the rap segment added in the middle was incredibly stunning. Unconsciously, you have left me, unconsciously, I follow this rhythm. After realizing it, another autumn has passed, after realizing it, I should live my life well. Finally, everyone present even sang the last segment along with Deng Zifeng. Thank you everyone. After finishing the 2 songs, Deng Zifeng bowed to the crowd and then composed her emotions. I'm not particularly skilled at anything, I just love to sing. I once submitted to many entertainment companies and sent countless resumes, but they all said that no one would like my singing style. For a while I wanted to give up on my dream. But I really love to sing. I feel that music is everything to me, those notes are like they've merged into my bloodstream. Speaking of this, Deng Zifeng wiped away the tears from her eyes and continued, just when I was about to give up, Xiao Qin of the Cool Cat platform signed me. Finally, he even introduced me to teacher Lin Feng and brother Xiao Fan, who signed me on the spot and began to create my first song, a song that belonged to me in my life. A few days later, I finally entered the recording studio to record my first song, which was The Tornado Just Now. At that time, I was so nervous that I kept messing up, but teacher Lin Feng stayed with me, teaching me line by line. At this point, Deng Zifeng choked up. Lin Feng, teacher Lin Feng told me. He told me, Deng Zifeng, you have to believe in yourself. This is your unique vocal style. Although many people say your singing style is not right and your enunciation isn't very clear, one day, there will be a group of people, tens of thousands, or even millions, who will imitate your singing style and sing your songs. So I really thank teacher Lin Feng. When teacher Lin Feng told me tonight that I would be the closing act, I was really worried. When teacher Chen Xiaoyu and teacher Zhu Ershi performed their skit earlier, everyone was laughing so hard, but I couldn't laugh at all. Because I was too nervous. I was afraid that if I didn't perform well, I would let down teacher Lin Feng and brother Xiao Fan's trust in me. When I sang Bubble, honestly, my hand holding the microphone was trembling because Wang Xinyu and the others performed too well earlier. And teacher Lin Feng insisted that I be the closing act. I was too nervous. If Wang Xinyu and the others had made a mistake earlier, it would have been fine, but they didn't make any mistakes, which made me even more nervous. As she spoke, Deng Zifeng burst into tears on stage. I was too nervous, so nervous, that I almost came in at the wrong beat. I was just afraid of not singing well. Watching Deng Zifeng cry loudly on stage, for some reason, although everyone should have felt sorry for Deng Zifeng, seeing her cry made everyone laugh. This Deng Zifeng was truly too cute. Especially Wang Xinyu, Luo Jixiang, and the others were speechless. This Deng Zifeng was clearly trying to drag someone down with her. But luckily I sang pretty well, ha 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 ha, Deng Zifeng said, wiping away her tears, a hint of pride in her expression. Her crying and laughing made people not know whether to laugh or cry. All right, that's enough talking. I still have several songs to sing next, let's continue singing. Deng Zifeng calmed her emotions at this point, and then walked to the center of the secondary stage, saying to the crowd, I'll dedicate Unfinished Tenderness to you. As she spoke, she nodded to the band members who were bewildered and stared blankly at Deng Zifeng. Oh no, Unfinished Tenderness is the song after next. The next song is My Secret. Band members shook their heads again. Still not it? Then what is it? Deng Zifeng was a bit confused from crying. However, at this moment, the band members didn't care and directly started the music. And the moment Deng Zifeng heard the accompaniment, she jumped up. I know! I'll dedicate Countdown to you. Although Deng Zifeng, who wasn't singing, looked a bit goofy, the moment she started singing, her charisma instantly soared. Before long, all the live audience, including those watching the broadcast, became Deng Zifeng's most loyal fans. By the end, Lin Feng's fan meeting had transformed into Deng Zifeng's personal concert. The cherry blossom season hasn't arrived, and the camera remains unused. The restaurant we haven't visited yet still awaits our journey together. Every little bit, every day, I cherish you, using all my strength to love you well. The hands of the clock are counting down our remaining joy. The passion of this embrace, however, will forever be etched deep. Although Deng Zifeng was like a clumsy fool before, now she was like the queen of this stage, every movement exuding endless dominance, as if she was born for the stage. Beautiful, simply too beautiful, the rhythm builds in layers, giving you a roller coaster feeling. And when Countdown finished, the fourth song, My Secret, immediately followed. I've been in a really good mood lately, I don't know why. This feeling I have now, I want to sing it for you. The distance between us seems to flicker far and near, you're not by my side, yet I feel so close. There's a feeling I want to explain, the secret in my heart is the sweetness you give. The distance between us seems to be closing in, little by little. Do you also have a special feeling for me? I'm hesitant whether to tell you, the secret in my heart is that I think I've fallen for you. This song, My Secret, had an even livelier rhythm. Deng Zifeng was on the secondary stage, and the 300 audience members surrounded it, clapping along to her music. It wasn't just the fans, the two divas, Zhang Xiaoyu and Chen Zixuan, also gathered around the secondary stage, clapping along. Deng Zifeng's stage presence and singing were truly amazing. At this moment, the two queens of the Chinese music scene had already become Deng Zifeng's fans. This was Deng Zifeng's fourth song, and seeing such an enthusiastic audience and a screen full of bullet comments in the live stream, Deng Zifeng sang even more passionately, sweat trickling down her forehead. After finishing the fourth song, My Secret, Deng Zifeng felt her throat was about to smoke. Yang Xiaoyan handed a bottle of water to Deng Zifeng, who thanked her, took a sip to moisten her throat, then nodded to the band teacher. The music started again, and when it did, the audience erupted once more. I still remember when I innocently believed love could be endless. Never to part, spoken with sincerity, but merely too young. The rhythm of this song was even stronger, and it was one of Lin Feng's favorite songs. At this moment, Deng Zifeng sang on stage, and Lin Feng sang off stage. This was also one of Lin Feng's most beloved songs. When Deng Zifeng finished her last song, Ye Xiaoyu came on stage to announce that Lin Feng's fan meeting had successfully concluded. After Deng Zifeng finished singing and came off stage, she and Wang Xinyu embraced, both weeping profusely. Audience members who lived nearby could go home, while for those who lived far away, Ye Xiaoyu had booked hotels for them near the manor. The audience was truly reluctant to leave, and it took a full half an hour for the 300 fans to finally depart with lingering reluctance. Wow, it's incredible, Zifeng actually performed 5 brand new songs in one night. That's almost enough for a complete album, one netizen exclaimed in amazement. I have to say Zifeng's singing ability is truly powerful. Her moving voice and flawless stage presence are captivating and irresistible. However, the only flaw was that the fans on site were too enthusiastic and wild, so much so that in some parts, her singing was drowned out by their fervent shouts, making it not as clear and distinct, another person complained. And even more fans eagerly called out, 10,000 people are begging on bended knee for Zifeng to release an album, please include all these songs, we will definitely support it with all our might. What was even more astonishing was that upon closer inspection, Zifeng wasn't the only one who performed exceptionally. Let's see, my wife sang 3 songs. Luo Zhixiang also performed 3, Yang Xiaoyan brought 1 masterpiece, Kai Yiling sang 3 tunes, and other singers like Kai Kai Ba Ba each contributed 3 songs. Finally, adding Deng Zifeng's 5 show-stopping golden hits, wow, Lin Feng, this musical maestro, actually created as many as 16 top-quality songs. This is too incredible. You have to know, the quality of these songs, whether in melody or lyrics, is considered top tier in the industry. For ordinary musicians, it might be difficult to write even one such excellent work in their entire lives. Even for experienced and highly accomplished senior creators, crafting such high-quality songs would probably take several years. But look at our Lin Feng Da. He composes songs as easily as wholesaling cabbages at the market, churning out masterpieces batch after batch, continuously. Roughly estimated, in just the past year, Lin Feng Da has already created nearly 50 songs. Lin Feng Da is truly a divine person. For this I also want to ask Yang Fan, are you convinced? And so, many people in the comments section began to mock Tanyu Entertainment Company as well as Yang Fan and Wang Yun. Because when Lin Feng's first song, Sunny Day, came out, they spread rumors that he had plagiarized it. They probably thought Lin Feng could only create that one song, but they never expected his creative ability to be so strong. After that, every song Lin Feng released was like a whip lashing at these people. What did we witness tonight? Someone asked. Tonight, we witnessed the birth of several superstar singers. Tonight, we witnessed the birth of sketch artists and crosstalk artists, Tonight, we witnessed the birth of a diva, someone replied. The best New Year's Eve is on Kuaishu, and the best New Year's Eve concert is in Kuaishu's live stream. I'm really lucky to have watched the entire fan meeting. I can't take it anymore. Where's the replay? I want to watch it again. Me too, I came in midway, I missed the beginning. Finally, the live broadcast ended. Kuaishu's staff also left the manor with their broadcasting equipment, and the audience in the live stream reluctantly departed, still wanting more. It was already past 1 in the morning on January 1st. The night was deep, and all was silent. Chen Zixuan, Zhang Shayan, and the others gradually left the venue, and the once bustling hall slowly became quiet. Eventually, only Wang Xinyu, Lin Feng, Ye Xiaoyu, Ye Xiaofen, Luo Zhixiang, Deng Zifeng, Kai Kai Ba, and Kai Yiling remained in the spacious hall. At this moment, Deng Zifeng and the others could not hide their excitement and embraced each other. This was because they had all experienced a long period of being shelved, their talents unutilized, and their dreams almost shattered. However, just when they were almost despairing, Lin Feng appeared before them like a ray of dawn, not only discovering them, but also providing them with such a rare platform to showcase themselves. Moreover, from this moment on, everyone was about to become colleagues in the same company and should care for each other and advance together. Looking back at the fan meeting that had just concluded, it could be said to have been quite perfect. Every participant fully displayed their charisma, presenting their best side to the audience. The atmosphere was lively, with cheers and applause rising and falling, and everyone's face was beaming with happy and contented smiles. Undoubtedly, this was an unforgettable event. However, among this joyful crowd, one person's mood seemed a bit low, and that person was Ye Xiaofen. It turned out that Lin Feng had previously made a solemn promise to Ye Xiaofen, stating that the Xiaoyu who had been haunting Ye Xiaofen's thoughts and heart would definitely be invited to attend this fan meeting. However, time flew by, and the fan meeting gradually drew to a close amidst the cheers and applause of the crowd, but regrettably, from beginning to end, even after the fan meeting ended and most people had left, Ye Xiaofen was unable to as wish see the Xiaoyu he had longed for day and night. Ye Xiaotan inadvertently met Lin Feng's gaze, and as their eyes connected, their lips curved into an unspoken smile. Immediately after, Ye Xiaotan gracefully stepped onto the stage again, her melodious voice slowly drifting through the air like a heavenly sound. All right, dear friends, next, please enjoy together the last beautiful song of tonight. Sakura Grass. Since the live band had already left after their performance, only pre-recorded instrumental music could be played at this moment. However, when that familiar and moving melody suddenly began, Ye Xiaofen, who had initially looked dejected, suddenly brightened as if awakened by a magical force. Even Lin Feng, standing nearby, couldn't help but feel utterly surprised, even having the illusion that Ye Xiaofen in front of him seemed to have re-emerged with vibrant vitality, his whole being becoming lively. It wasn't just Ye Xiaofen. Wang Xinyu and the others were also somewhat excited at this moment. The song Sakura Grass was incredibly popular, and currently, it seemed only Lin Feng knew who sang it. Because Lin Feng also produced this song. Many people had asked Lin Feng on his social media, but Lin Feng had not responded at all. Thus, the mysterious female singer remained a mystery. Everyone only knew her online name was Xiaoyu Zixi. Today, they finally had the good fortune to see this mysterious female singer's true face, which naturally made them excited. The evening breeze sways the bamboo forest, the moonlight lengthens the shadows. Vega, twinkling, vanishing stars, flying all over the sky. Just the first two lines made Ye Xiaofen feel as if he had been struck by Cupid's arrow. He couldn't sleep without listening to this song dozens of times a day, so this voice was truly too familiar to him. This was the Xiaoyu he had been searching for so desperately. However, this Xiaoyu did not seem to be a professional singer, as her live performance was not very stable. For professional singers like Deng Zifeng, this problem was very obvious. But for Ye Xiaofen, these things were not very important. On the dark stage with dim lights, a graceful figure slowly appeared on the stage, and it seemed this was Xiaoyu Zixi. Just you wait, Xiaoyu, Big Brother is going to have a Magpie Bridge meeting with you right now, Ye Xiaofen said excitedly, and with that, he went directly onto the stage. But as the lights began to soften, and the graceful figure on the stage gradually became clear, Ye Xiaoyu's figure appeared before everyone. At once, Deng Zifeng and the others screamed. They had never expected that Xiaoyu Zixi was actually Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu is so beautiful, Wang Xinyu exclaimed loudly. Goddess. Absolutely stunning. Luo Zhixiang, Qi, and the others below the stage were also very supportive, unable to help but scream loudly. Ye Xiaofen also screamed at this moment. How could it be you? At this moment, Ye Xiaofen felt his entire world turn gray, his worldview collapsing. He had originally planned for a Magpie Bridge meeting, but the moment he saw Ye Xiaofen froze completely, turning to stone. This impact was truly too great for him. How could the angel in his heart suddenly turn into a demon from the 9 netherworld hells? That's right, in Ye Xiaofen's heart, his older sister was a demon. For a moment, Ye Xiaofen screamed heartbreakingly, severely disrupting Ye Xiaoyu's performance. Ye Xiaoyu gave Kiki Baba and the 4 male gods a look, and without any hesitation, the 4 male gods rushed onto the stage and carried him down. How did my Xiaoyu turn into a demon? Ye Xiaofen cried out loudly. In just a few minutes, Ye Xiaofen's mood was like a roller coaster. First, the disappointment of thinking he wouldn't see Xiaoyu, then the excitement in his heart when the accompaniment of Sakura grass began and his Xiaoyu appeared on stage, and now finding out that Xiaoyu was his own demonic older sister, who usually made tidying him up her hobby. This change was too fast, wasn't it? This was too thrilling, wasn't it? At this moment, Lin Feng could even hear the sound of Ye Xiaofen's heart breaking. Finally, Ye Xiaofen let out a tragic cry and fainted. However, no one paid him any mind. At this moment, Lin Feng and the others were interacting with Ye Xiaoyu. The Sakura grass in the lover's hand, hearing the heartbeat in the chest. Secretly missing, that is the mark of our love. Finally, everyone truly concluded this fan meeting with Ye Xiaoyu's song Sakura Grass. The next morning, the viewership ratings for the New Year's Eve concert were released. This year, including Huashi, a total of 8 channels held New Year's Eve galas. By 6 a.m. that morning, each satellite TV station had presented its report card. Due to the older demographic, Huashi's New Year's Eve concert had the highest viewership ratings this time, with real-time ratings around 4.12%. It ranked highest among all New Year's Eve galas. The highest ratings for other satellite TV stations only reached 1.38%, with the lowest being 0.76%. The viewership was dismal, to say the least. Fairly speaking, New Year's Eve galas have been going on for over 10 years. They follow the same old routine, with the same familiar celebrities, although some young idols also make appearances. However, these young idols lack any impressive works. Even when covering songs, due to their lack of skill, they all lip-sync, not even half, singing live. Yes, these young idols have many fans, but that doesn't mean people don't seek good music. Previous years were a bit better, but this year a notice was issued from above prohibiting lip-syncing, so these young idols all, without exception, fell flat. The glamorous stage instantly became their purgatory. All their flaws off, key singing and tone deafness were exposed. This also led to a significant drop in viewership for various satellite TV stations' New Year's Eve concerts this year. But that wasn't the most important thing. The most crucial factor was that Lin Feng's fan meeting was too extraordinary. Starting at 8 p.m., the performance lasted over 4 hours, with high energy throughout and no dull moments. Not only did it feature top stars like Lin Feng, Zhang Xian, and Chen Zixuan, but even the performances of new artists were outstanding. Compared to Lin Feng's fan meeting, the New Year's Eve concerts of the major satellite TV stations instantly became a laughingstock. Damn it, I should have known better than to listen to those sons of bitches, a director of a satellite TV station exclaimed, slapping the table. That director had also watched Lin Feng's New Year's Eve fan meeting, and each program in it was truly spectacular. Although he was reluctant to admit it, compared to Lin Feng's fan meeting, his station's New Year's Eve concert was like dog shit. So at this moment, the director couldn't help but vent all his anger on the capitalists who had previously ganged up to pressure him. Initially, these people had jointly pressured him, threatening that if Lin Feng were invited, all their artists would withdraw. With no other choice, the director had given up on Lin Feng. But now it seemed that Lin Feng had the ability to single-handedly carry a New Year's Eve concert. Meanwhile, the capitalists behind those companies were also extremely angry and troubled. Just now, the directors of the major satellite V stations had called each of them, one by one, cursing these high and mighty capitalists to no end and lambasting their artists as utterly worthless. Some short-tempered directors even terminated all activities with their artists. Although these capitalists usually seemed high and mighty, a station director was an insider within the system. These major figures were to be looked up to by these capitalists. If you angered them, all your artists under your banner could forget about making it on that station. They would be directly blacklisted. Because of the dismal viewership ratings of these stations' New Year's Eve concerts and Lin Feng's overwhelming success, those capitalists dared not voice their anger, nodding and bowing in apology. At this moment, they were seething inside, and at the same time, they were pondering a question. Logically, Lin Feng was just a singer. Even if his wife was Ye Xiaoyu, Ye Group had no intention of entering the entertainment industry, so it should have been easy for so many of them to gang up and crush Lin Feng. But they had failed once again, defeated once more by Lin Feng's talent. Watching the popularity of the new singers, Lin Feng had brought out soar wildly on various websites and platforms. Lin Feng once again used his talent to tell them that with talent, no amount of schemes and tricks would be effective. In contrast to the gloominess of those capitalists and their companies, the employees of Fangxing Entertainment Company were jubilant. Firstly, because yesterday's fan meeting was a complete success, and secondly, because new colleagues, like Wang Xinyu, were joining Fangxing Entertainment Company today. Moreover, Kueishu Live's revenue from just this single event was already overflowing, and Fangxing Company drew a 30% commission from it, which was an astonishing figure. So, even though it was a holiday due to the entertainment industry, all company employees still came to the office, and Lin Feng also gave everyone a big red envelope. However, at this moment, the employees of Fangxing Company had a question. Usually, the most excited person at this time should be our Xiao Fan. But why hadn't Xiao Fan, who should have arrived at the company much earlier, shown up yet? In the end, Lin Feng hosted both the welcoming party for the new hires and the celebration party. "Brother Lin? Where's Brother Xiao Fan? Why haven't I seen him all day today?" an employee asked curiously. "Brother Xiao Fan isn't feeling well and is hospitalized," Lin Feng said nonchalantly. Although it wasn't very proper, whenever this matter was brought up, Lin Feng couldn't help but want to smile. Seriously, why is Xiao Fan's ability to withstand blows so poor? Isn't it just that his beloved Xiao Naiyu turned out to be his older sister? Is that really enough to make him collapse? Ding, dong. Just then Lin Feng's phone rang. It was a message from Ye Xiaoyu. "Should we go to the hospital to see Xiao Fan?" This message made Lin Feng's eyelids twitch. "My dear wife, you truly are Xiao Fan's biological sister. Don't you know why Xiao Fan is hospitalized? Wouldn't going to see him now cause him secondary harm?" Lin Feng sent his thoughts to Ye Xiaoyu. "I know, otherwise, why would I go to the hospital to see him?" Ye Xiaoyu replied seriously. Lin Feng took a deep breath. How much did Ye Xiaoyu dislike her younger brother? Let alone a biological one, even a free-range one shouldn't be treated this way. "Just kidding, when are you coming back? I have something to talk to you about." "Okay, I'll be right back," Lin Feng replied. Then, looking at everyone, he said, "Everyone, there's nothing else today. I've booked the XXX hotel, so everyone can take their families to relax for 2 days. Just submit the bill to President Yi for reimbursement when you get back." "Oh my God, long live President Yi." The employees of Fangxing Entertainment Company were so excited, they were practically jumping. Lin Feng then left the company and drove home. He wondered what Ye Xiaoyu wanted to tell him. "Hey Xiaoyu, what do you want for lunch? I'll buy it for you," Lin Feng called Ye Xiaoyu while driving. "No need for food, I've had someone pack some for me. Are you on your way now?" Ye Xiaoyu asked. "Yes, since there's food at home, I'll just get on the elevated road directly." "Okay, drive carefully on the road, go slow." Saying that, Ye Xiaoyu hung up the phone. About 20 minutes later, Lin Feng returned home. When Lin Feng opened the door, Ye Xiaoyu was waiting for him with open arms. Lin Feng looked around and at his hands with some confusion. Lin Feng had been caught off guard by Ye Xiaoyu like this before. At that time, Ye Xiaoyu also opened her arms to welcome him, and Lin Feng thought Ye Xiaoyu was going to give him a passionate hug, but in the end Ye Xiaoyu just snatched the laptop from his hand. The same situation happened again today, catching Lin Feng off guard. What's the meaning of this today? But before Lin Feng could think too much, Ye Xiaoyu had already pounced on him. Lin Feng quickly caught Ye Xiaoyu. At this moment, Ye Xiaoyu's hands were hooked around Lin Feng's neck, and her long legs were wrapped around Lin Feng's waist, like a koala hanging on Lin Feng. "What's wrong?" Lin Feng said with a smile, his hands rubbing Ye Xiaoyu's waist. "I missed you," Ye Xiaoyu said with a smile. A faint smile appeared at the corner of Lin Feng's mouth, and he immediately pressed it against Ye Xiaoyu's lips. Ye Xiaoyu hung on Lin Feng like that, passionately kissing him. The two of them kissed from the living room to the kitchen, and then from the kitchen to the dining table. Finally, Lin Feng placed Ye Xiaoyu on the dining table, and they continued to kiss passionately for a long time. From this, it was evident how thirsty this couple had been, having been so reserved before. As the saying goes, it was truly a clash of thunder and fire, a pagoda suppressing a river monster. Fortunately, the two separated when they were lost in passion, otherwise, things would have gotten out of hand today. "All right, get up quickly, I have something to tell you." After the passionate kiss, the two embraced on the sofa. After a while, Ye Xiaoyu pushed Lin Feng and said with a smile, "What's wrong? Why are you so anxious to call me back?" Lin Feng asked. "It's like this. Do you remember what I told you when we were in the capital?" Ye Xiaoyu sat up and asked Lin Feng. Lin Feng naturally knew about this matter. This was a small bet that Ye Xiaoyu, Jin Qiang, the CEO of Jin Qiang Group, and Lai Hua, the CEO of Yiting Company, had made in the capital. Lai Hu, as newly launched campus card, offered a 52 monthly package, yet it included 100 GB of data per month, and its subsidiary, Mihu Video, could be watched for free without any membership, and the internet speed was very fast. This was a brand specifically tailored for these students. However, it couldn't open up the market within campuses, because the benefits it brought were not proportional to the price. How clever are students nowadays? How could a pie fall from the sky for no reason? However, they didn't know that this was precisely Lai Hu's strategy of small profits but quick turnover. For this, Lai Hu spent almost 100 million last year on promotion, but the effect was negligible. So Ye Xiaoyu said that inviting a celebrity to endorse it at this time would definitely have a good effect. But capitalists of this level disdained celebrities, believing that as long as their product quality was excellent, people would support it. They probably forgot the simple truth that even good wine needs a good advertisement. Therefore, the two made a small bet. At this time, Jin Qiang, the CEO of Jin Qiang Group, happened to be nearby, so he also got involved. This led to the three people's bet worth hundreds of millions. And on January 1st this year, Lai Hua transferred the promotional funds to the Ye Group's company account. That's why Ye Xiaoyu sought out Lin Feng immediately. Ye Xiaoyu didn't care about the small bet of hundreds of millions, but Ye Xiaoyu's personality was that she hated to lose. It is said that in a kindergarten origami competition, Ye Xiaoyu insisted on distinguishing between first and second place. If she got first place, it was fine, but if she didn't, Ye Xiaoyu would practice diligently until she consistently achieved first place. This small incident demonstrated Ye Xiaoyu's competitive nature. If this personality were to be elevated, it would be the Mamba mentality. Lin Feng thought of this and looked at Ye Xiaoyu. He didn't expect Ye Xiaoyu to be a Kobe fan, which made Lin Feng very unhappy. As a fan of Jordan, Kobe, Curry, and Clay, we are objective and neutral, neither praising nor criticizing. Does your Kobe's historical status surpass my LeBron's? My LeBron is known as King, GOAT, Black Excellence, Smurf, the greatest player in history. How could you, Ye Xiaoyu, not like my LeBron? Lin Feng felt that he absolutely had to take Ye Xiaoyu to watch my LeBron's game, to show Ye Xiaoyu what it means to be the greatest player in history. 22 years of strategic planning. And then let my LeBron demonstrate what a king's cape is. Let you, Ye Xiaoyu, see how my LeBron's fans came after a powerful dunk. Most importantly, my LeBron has an army. This is something you, Jordan, Kobe, and Curry, cannot compare to. My LeBron's Imperial Army. If you criticize my LeBron, an Israeli soldier's rocket launcher will arrive immediately. I'm getting carried away. Whenever I mention my LeBron, I get a little excited for some reason. A faint smile appeared at the corner of Lin Feng's mouth at this moment. Isn't this simple? Isn't this practically falling right into my lap? Bringing over the strategies of Jie Chu and Ye Teng Company, wouldn't this be resolved in minutes? According to rumors, Jie Chu and others' series of operations almost drove their two competing companies directly into bankruptcy. Lin Feng believed that his exact replication of this strategy would also yield excellent results. You have an idea? Ye Xiaoyu asked, looking at Lin Feng. Yes, but it's not quite mature yet. I'll tell you the general content first. Lin Feng then briefly explained his ideas. Ye Xiaoyu's eyes lit up as she listened. She immediately snuggled into Lin Feng's arms and softly said, "Darling, how are you so talented? Do you love me even more now?" Lin Feng said with a smile. "I already love you to death," Ye Xiaoyu said tenderly. "Me too, I love you to death too." They say that couples in love are all adulterers, because in this state, they can say even the most sickening things. Looking at their clingy behavior, if Ye Xiaotong and Ye Xiaofen saw it, they would definitely curse in unison, "What a couple of dogs," and then spit to show their disdain for the two. Of course, it's best to tell Xiaofan about this. After all, he is the boss of Fangxing Entertainment Company, Lin Feng said with a smile to Ye Xiaoyu at the end. "All right, let's have lunch now. We'll go find Xiaofan after we eat." Ye Xiaoyu nodded. Now? Lin Feng was a bit confused. Remembering Ye Xiaofan's sudden, comical collapse that day, he quickly said, "Let's not today. How about we go in a few days? You'd best not appear in front of Xiaofan right now." "It's fine. I know Xiaofan's psyche. He would have gone crazy years ago, if he didn't have a certain level of mental fortitude after all the years I've tormented him," Ye Xiaoyu said with a laugh. At this moment, in a VIP ward in the hospital, after Ye Xiaofan finished reading the physical copy of The True Story of a Bin, he put it back in the drawer and took a deep breath. Indeed, only books like these could soothe his wounded soul. "Mr. Yi, I see your heart rate and everything else are quite normal. I think you can be discharged tomorrow," a nurse said softly while recording Ye Xiaofan's heart rate and blood pressure. "Thank you, nurse." Ye Xiaofan nodded with a smile. Xiaofan. Not long after the nurse left the ward, the door opened again, and Lin Feng walked in. "Brother-in-law, how did you manage to come here?" Seeing Lin Feng, Ye Xiaofan quickly urged him in. "No one saw you, did they?" "Don't worry, I was fully disguised," Lin Feng said softly as he took off his hat and mask. "Besides, I'm not some wanted criminal, so what if someone finds out?" "How are you doing?" Lin Feng asked with a smile, patting Ye Xiaofan's thigh. Of course I'm in great shape. Did you really think that incident would affect me? I was just too tired recently that day. Look, after 2 bottles of glucose, I'm now full of vigor. If it weren't for having already paid for today's hospital stay, I'd be discharged today," Ye Xiaofan said indifferently. "I can see that, especially since you posted an update on your social media just over an hour ago," Lin Feng said with a smile. With so many people targeting the New Year's Eve concert this year, and his side having achieved a resounding victory, Ye Xiaofan, with his vengeful personality, naturally had to post an update to mock them. "Alas, we hadn't even tried our best and you all fell. It makes me wonder if we're too strong or if you're too weak." Although Ye Xiaofan's update didn't name names, everyone knew he was initiating a mass taunt. Especially that line, "We hadn't even tried our best and you all fell," which was utterly arrogant. Since you're fine, I'm relieved." "What could possibly be wrong with me?" Ye Xiaofan said indifferently. "Brother-in-law, you guys are too neurotic." "All right, Xiaofan is fine. You can come in now," Lin Feng called out softly to the door at this moment. Before Ye Xiaofan could react, Ye Xiaoyu's figure appeared before him. Sisu came. There was no scream as he imagined, but "Ye Xiaofan, what's with all the twitching?" "Brother Ye Xiaofan, I've come to see you," Ye Xiaoyu suddenly said in a high-pitched, childish voice. Ye Xiaofan was about to scream, but immediately covered his mouth with his hand, remembering he was in a hospital. His eyes looked at Ye Xiaoyu with great apprehension. Ye Xiaoyu was naturally beautiful, like a fairy descended to the mortal world, but in Ye Xiaofan's eyes, Ye Xiaoyu at this moment was undoubtedly the ugliest demon. Watching Ye Xiaoyu walk towards him step by step, Ye Xiaofan instinctively shrank his body into the corner. Finally, Ye Xiaofan uttered the most classic line, "Don't come any closer." Tears welled up in Ye Xiaofan's eyes. "All right, are you done or not? Sit properly." Ye Xiaoyu stepped forward and slapped Ye Xiaofan on the head. Now be good and don't move. I have something to talk to you about. Don't think I won't beat you just because you're in the hospital. Lin Feng looked at Ye Xiaoyu with great pity. He really wanted to ask Ye Xiaoyu if he had peed in Ye Xiaoyu's food bowl when they were little, making her dislike him so much. Meanwhile, Ye Xiaoyu's anxious eyes darted around. At this moment, Ye Xiaoyu and Lin Feng made eye contact. At this moment, both of them could even understand each other's thoughts through their gazes. Brother-in-law, save me, take this demon away or else take me away. Didn't you say you didn't take this matter to heart? Wasn't I just bragging? Can't you tell, brother-in-law? I'm sorry, Xiaoyu, I can't help you with this. Are you still my brother? I helped you get my sister and now that you have her, you don't care about your brother anymore? Xiaoyu, it's not that your brother won't help, it's mainly that your sister is too formidable. Friendship over. Eventually, as their gazes shifted, this clash of souls came to an end. At this point, Ye Xiaoyu pulled up a chair and sat next to Ye Xiaoyu, beginning to babble about this endorsement deal. Half an hour later, after seeing Ye Xiaoyu sign the endorsement contract, Ye Xiaoyu finally nodded in satisfaction. After putting the contract away, Ye Xiaoyu said contentedly, "The day after tomorrow, when I return to the company, I'll call a meeting with the group's publicity department. Darling, you should come too." Ye Xiaoyu looked at Lin Feng with affectionate eyes and smiled. "Okay, I'll take you to work directly then." Lin Feng gently tucked a few stray hairs behind Ye Xiaoyu's ear and said tenderly, "And thank you, my dearest little brother." Turning her head, Ye Xiaoyu said with a smile to Ye Xiaoyu, also lightly patting Ye Xiaoyu's backside. Ye Xiaoyu jumped in fright, then began to tremble all over, like a young girl who had just been humiliated. There were even a few glistening tears in the corners of his eyes. "All right, since everything's settled, we'll be leaving. You get some good rest." Ye Xiaoyu, satisfied, put away the contract and started to walk out. "Xiaoyu, get some good rest. There are still things at the company waiting for you to handle." Lin Feng also patted Ye Xiaoyu's arm. Ye Xiaoyu didn't speak, just shivered all over like Xiaoxi. "Oh, by the way, darling, I've booked a private room at the group's hotel tonight. Let's go out for dinner." "That's great, it saves me from having to make dinner myself. I'm telling you, our hotel's catering is quite good. You should eat more and offer some suggestions then." After Lin Feng and Ye Xiaoyu left, Ye Xiaoyu suddenly screamed, then fainted again. "Mr. Yi, are you all right? Mr. Yi? Doctor, quickly call a doctor." Ye Xiaoyu was very, extremely angry, because she was driving intently in the front, not having eaten a single bite of breakfast. Meanwhile, the shameless couple in the back seat was showering everyone with their affection. "Here, Xiaoyu, try this. A little girl from our company gave me one to eat the other day, and it's quite delicious," Lin Feng said, holding a pastry out to Ye Xiaoyu. "Then you feed me," Ye Xiaoyu said, opening her mouth. Lin Feng, with a slight smile, gently placed the pastry into Ye Xiaoyu's mouth. They even shared one pastry mouth to mouth, completely ignoring Ye Xiaoyu. "I'm telling you too, that's enough. Are you ever going to stop?" Finally, Ye Xiaoyu exploded. She stopped at a red light, turned her head, and roared at Ye Xiaoyu and Lin Feng. But Lin Feng and Ye Xiaoyu were passionately kissing at the moment, completely oblivious to Ye Xiaoyu's roar. It was fortunate that the windows were specially treated, so no one could see inside from the outside. Otherwise, someone would have recognized Lin Feng and started snapping photos. Ye Xiaoyu wanted to say more, but at that moment, the light turned green. Having no choice, she could only turn her head back and continue driving. Ye Xiaoyu swore that if these two ever rode together again, she would never be their driver, even if it killed her. Upon arriving at the company, Ye Xiaoyu and Lin Feng entered Ye Xiaoyu's office, chatting and laughing as if no one else was around. "What the?" The company employees immediately widened their eyes upon seeing Lin Feng, because everyone knew about the relationship between Ye Xiaoyu and Lin Feng due to the news. Everyone knew their boss was married, and her husband was the famous singer Lin Feng. But even though everyone knew, this was the first time President Yi had brought her husband to the company. "Sister Xiaoyu, what exactly is going on?" Some gossip-loving young women, seeing Ye Xiaoyu emerge from Ye Xiaoyu's office, immediately surrounded her, their faces full of excited curiosity. What else could be going on? A shameless couple, spreading their affection even at the company. Ye Xiaoyu wanted to answer like that, but these were, after all, her older female cousin and her older female cousin's husband. she knew they were a shameless couple, and that was enough. There was no need to make it public knowledge. Oh, the company has a promotional event, so we invited Lin Feng to the company. Ye Xiaoyu said with a smile. By the way, Lucy, please notify all personnel above the marketing department supervisor for a meeting in conference room 3 in 10 minutes. Linda, please notify the planning department. Okay, Sister Xiaoyu, we'll go now. Linda and Lucy nodded. All right, hurry along, Ye Xiaoyu said, then printed a dozen copies of the meeting materials and went to conference room 3 first. Xiaoyu, your office is quite impressive. One office is as big as an entire floor at our Vanishing Stars. Compared to your office, Xiao fans and my offices are like storage rooms. Lin Feng said, sitting comfortably in Ye Xiaoyu's chair and stretching lazily. Ye Xiaoyu came behind Lin Feng and gently massaged his shoulders. Sir, is this pressure all right? And the pressure is good, keep it up, Lin Feng said with a smile. All right, you two, stop being so lovey-dovey. There's no one here. Who are you showing off to? Come out quickly, it's time for the meeting. 10 minutes later, Ye Xiaoyu arrived at Ye Xiaoyu's office, speechless at the sight of the two. Everyone please take a look. This time, the marketing department is promoting this mobile communication card called the Campus Card. The discounts for this card are clearly written on it. Let's discuss how to promote it. This was the first time Lin Feng had seen Ye Xiaoyu at work. Working, Ye Xiaoyu was decisive and efficient. Her aura was incredibly formidable. No wonder she alone could manage the entire Ye group. Does anyone have any ideas they'd like to share? A few minutes later, after everyone had finished reviewing the materials, Ye Xiaoyu asked again. President Ye, you suddenly asked us to come up with a promotional plan. We can't think of anything in such a short time. The person from the planning department said softly, looking at Ye Xiaoyu. I wonder if President Ye has any good ideas. Ye Xiaoyu glanced at Lin Feng, who nodded slightly and then stood up. Xiao Tong immediately projected Lin Feng's previous plan onto the screen. Lin Feng walked to the stage and said with a smile to everyone. Actually, your President Yi and I have thought of a few plans. Everyone, please look at the big screen. The first plan is that the name of this mobile communication card is too ordinary, so we came up with a special name. This card is called Dynamic Zone. Dynamic Zone? Everyone exchanged glances, not understanding what Dynamic Zone meant. Dynamic Zone is just a brand name, similar to your company's mate brand, but our positioning for Dynamic Zone is in 3 directions: fashionable, fun, and affordable. And this zone is what's called my territory. You see, high school students are at a rebellious age. They think they've grown up and can become impatient with parental restrictions. So our slogan can definitely be, my territory, my rules, I am an M's own person. So cool, Tilda, a female planner said softly at this point. Of course, this is just my personal opinion. The complete plan will still require all of you to refine it further. After Lin Feng finished speaking, he returned to his seat. I think Mr. Lin Feng's plan and slogan are excellent, and Mr. Lin Feng will also compose a new song for our Dynamic Zone promotion this time. The specific details and advertising plan still need to be discussed jointly by the marketing and planning departments. After Ye Xiaoyu finished speaking, she looked around and asked softly, does anyone else have any questions? If not, then the meeting is adjourned. By the way, President Yi, how much money is the company prepared to allocate for the planning and promotion of this plan? A marketing department supervisor asked, concerned. For this planning and promotion, we are Party B, and our Party A is very generous. Excluding Mr. Lin Feng's endorsement fee, we have a total of 85 million in promotional funds. That much? Everyone was a bit surprised. Yes, so everyone, put in your best effort. For this, I made a huge gamble of 400 million with Party A. If I win, everyone's bonuses will double. If I lose, then I apologize. Everyone's bonuses for this project will be halved, Ye Xiaoyu said, leaving everyone with a smile as she left on her own. Because there was a very mature plan, the advertisement design was also very easy. In just 1 week, the advertisement was already filmed, and Lin Feng's part was even faster. The theme song was created in 1 day. The name of the theme song was My Territory, and this song even had an MV shot. The female lead of the MV was Bai Jai from the modeling company, who was also the female lead in Lin Feng's Sunshine Boy. When Bai Jai received the invitation, all the sisters around her were filled with envy, jealousy, and hatred. As Chinese letter models, being able to shoot an MV was their biggest dream, not to mention that this was Lin Feng's MV. If it aired, how many people would recognize her? For example, Bai Jai, ever since she filmed Lin Feng's MV, her appearance fee was different from theirs. Although they didn't know the exact number, they estimated that Bai Jai's current appearance fee was twice, or even 5 times theirs. Some people even made some unknown deals with their leaders, hoping that if there was an opportunity to shoot an MV, they could be given priority. But they didn't expect that this time, Lin Feng specifically requested Bai Jai to be the female lead of the MV. If Lin Feng hadn't been married, they probably would have thought Bai Jai was Lin Feng's mistress. But you never know. Men, no matter how beautiful and charming a flower at home is, it's not as fragrant as a wild flower. Maybe Bai Jai is the mistress Lin Feng keeps outside. Of course, they only thought these things in their hearts and didn't say them out loud. Otherwise, it wouldn't be good if Bai Jai heard them. Ye Xiaoyu wasn't idle these days either. She sent a design drawing to Lai Hua and called him to tell him to redesign all the campus card, packaging and patterns according to the design drawing. Xiaoyu, what do you mean by this? Lai Hua asked, somewhat puzzled. Uncle Lai, you don't need to worry about this. I want to build your campus card into a brand. Then you just prepare to lose money obediently, Ye Xiaoyu said with a smile. After all the advertisements, promotional videos, promotional posters, and even Lin Feng's MV were all filmed, the publicity department began to prepare for market promotion. But at this moment, Ye Xiaoyu urgently halted this idea, which puzzled everyone, even Lin Feng. Everything was ready, and there were no mistakes. It could be put into the market for promotion. What was she waiting for now? Everyone, although our advertisement this time is called Dynamic Zone, even if it's hyped up, it's still a campus card. A campus card, of course, takes the campus as the main unit. It's now the winter vacation. Shouldn't we wait until the students return to school before launching the advertisement? Ye Xiaoyu said with a smile. This was truly a wake-up call. What Ye Xiaoyu said was right. This campus card was originally for student discounts. What was the point of promoting it if not around the time students started school? As for the effect of promotion after school starts, that's a later story. Just then Lin Feng's phone rang. He glanced at the note. Zhang Wei, the president of Chinese novel website, called. Why is he calling me at this time? Lin Feng was a little puzzled, but still answered the call. Hello, President Zhang. Mr. Lin, do you have time now? Is there something? Lin Feng asked. It's about your novel, Zhu Zian. Several companies want to buy the copyright of your Zhu Zian to make it into a TV series. I wonder if it's convenient for everyone to meet and discuss the price together, Zhang Wei said with a smile. Oh, which companies? Lin Feng asked. There are Tianyu Entertainment, Penguin Pictures, Huijing Sisters, Luo Pictures, etc. A total of 7 companies want to buy the film and television rights of Zhu Zian. Tianyu Entertainment? Lin Feng was a little puzzled. That's right, it's Tianyu Entertainment Company, Zhang Wei nodded. What's their reserve price? Lin Feng asked. They are all around 80 million yuan, Zhang Wei said with a smile. 80 million? That much? Lin Feng was a little surprised. Mr. Lin Feng, you should really take a look at the status of your novel in the online literature world now. 80 million is considered little, Zhang Wei said. President Zhang, I'm not very familiar with the fees for film and television adaptations. How about this? I'll leave it entirely to you. Lin Feng thought for a while then said in a low voice. Mr. Lin Feng trusts us like that? Aren't you afraid we'll give Mr. Lin Feng a yin-yang contract? Zhang Wei said with a smile. Isn't the reserve price already 80 million? So I can get at least 40 million, which I think is quite a lot, Lin Feng said with a smile. Then, which company are you interested in? Which company doesn't matter, the most important thing is to give it to whoever offers the most money, Lin Feng said with a smile. What if the price is the same? Zhang Wei asked. Then give it to Tianyu Entertainment, Lin Feng said with a smile. Tianyu Entertainment? Isn't that your? President Zhang, one must be magnanimous, Lin Feng said, then couldn't help but laugh out loud, and as soon as Zhang Wei heard Lin Feng's laughter, he had a feeling that Lin Feng was going to play a trick on someone. By the way, how come those people at Tianyu Entertainment still want to buy the copyright even though they know I wrote this novel? Lin Feng had some doubts in his mind at this time, and then asked Zhang Wei on the phone. I think those people at Tianyu Entertainment know that the copyrights of all our works on Chinese novel website are not in the hands of the authors, so they would think of buying them. Then if we don't disclose the ownership of the copyright, would it be illegal? Lin Feng asked again. Of course not, the copyright is in your hands, but you have fully entrusted us to handle it, so you don't need to come forward or explain.